Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today we're taking a look at the Command & Conquer Remaster. Now I know a lot of you may think this is an odd video for my channel, but this thing goes back to 1995 when I was 8 years old and I first played this game. Now, many of you may have never played Command & Conquer games before. Maybe you have played Command & Conquer games, but not the specific first two that started it, and those are Tiberian Dawn and Red Alert. But nevertheless, I honestly recommend people give this remaster a go. Now, I know when you hear the word remaster, not great things come to mind, especially when you consider the latest remaster from Blizzard of Warcraft 3, which in large part took away many of the good things that the community had going for that game. But in the case of this remaster, it basically is the definitive version of the game to play now. You just don't really need any other experience of it. You know, it just is that good. You can hit spacebar and you can change between the legacy graphics and the new updated graphics. The music is just like the bomb, man. It's so freaking good. It blows me away. They've got the levels of the music exactly correct as well. And there's just like a massive amount of content, honestly. I mean, you get both games, and it doesn't matter whether you had these old experiences on PC, or if you were somebody who played Command & Conquer on PlayStation, or Nintendo 64, or any of the platforms that it was released on. They have included all of the cinematics that have of course been remastered, and they've had like a high fidelity pass done over them, and all of the missions from every single platform. So you can see here you've got the GDI missions, the NOD missions, all of the console missions, and of course the expansion pack, the covert operations missions as well. Now at the moment we're only taking a look at Tiberian Dawn, but of course the same applies for Red Alert over there. So you've got both Aftermath and Counter-Strike, and then all of the console and sort of secret missions that were included in that game as well. Now on top of that, one little cool thing that they've added is the bonus gallery. So every time you complete a mission, you unlock a little tidbit of behind the scenes of when they were recording the original cinematics and other things for the original game. So here you can see General Shepard, and he's on the green screen here, and he's doing his takes for some of the first cinematics that, you know, I remember seeing as a kid and kind of being blown away by. I think the cinematics in Command & Conquer, I mean, I know you guys will think they look pretty outdated these days, right? But I think they have a certain charm to them, a certain allure, and they're just quite timeless and hilarious in their own way. You know, it's obvious that the guys over at Westwood, they were trying to not take things too seriously, and since the graphical power wasn't really there at the time, they struck a nice balance, I feel, between, you know, having the graphical backgrounds and then a real actor on a green screen in front of those. So there's a lot of B-roll footage here in some of the bonus gallery clips of the actors doing their takes for the various cinematics. So some other nice features that they've added to the game are new key bindings. So you now have a quick save button. If you hold control and hit N, I think it is, that will quick save your game, which is a godsend because I would recommend saving frequently and as often as possible really in this game, because honestly some of these missions are very difficult. They're maybe not too difficult in terms of modern day RTS games like StarCraft in terms of micromanagement, but they often give you very few resources in order to accomplish a mission, and if you lose too many of those early on, you'll find that you're having to restart the mission again and again and again. So save often when you're playing this, guys. They've also added some other things that you might find and be used to from more modern RTS games these days, like, you know, obviously you can group units by holding control and then using, you know, keys 1 to 4, and then you can hit that particular key to recall a group, but now you can also hold and shift click units into the group to add them there, which I don't think you could do in the original. You can press X to scatter your troops. There were some of these key bindings that were available in the original game as well, but the problem is 8-year-old me didn't really know what they were. There wasn't any manual to tell you what they were either. So a lot of these I'm only finding out for the first time now. There's also unit queuing, and you can keybind every unit and structure in the game to your keyboard if that's what you feel the need to do. Now there's also a multiplayer mode and a fully fleshed out map editor, and I can't really tell you guys how great those features are yet because I haven't gotten my teeth in there. I've mainly just been playing through the campaign, but there is a quick match feature, so you can just, you know, jump into a match at random on the internet, and I think they have said that there's going to be some sort of an elo-based ranking system, so once I find out more about that and I've had a chance to test things out, I will let you guys know how that works out. I've also noticed that they've added a difficulty slider. I can only assume that the original difficulty of the game was what is now called normal mode, but you can now select an easy mode or a hard mode. I'm thinking once you've completed all the missions on the hard mode, there's got to be something that you unlock, because actually I've noticed in the mission selection panel there is one entire category that just has a question mark, and at the moment it's grayed out for me, so I'm assuming that is something that you're going to unlock via doing the missions on hard. What does hard mode really mean? Nobody really knows. Maybe the enemy gets more units, maybe you get less units, maybe they do more damage to you, probably all of the above. Now, I'm not going to concentrate in this video, guys, too much on talking about the story of Command & Conquer or what these games are about, because you most likely know that by now. You know what Command & Conquer is all about, at least the older, better Command & Conquer games. So let's not bother getting into that. What you really want to know is that $20 price tag worth your money for what you're getting here? And without a doubt, I can say it most definitely is. You know, if you compare this to other remasters like Warcraft 3, I think that one cost $40, in fact. Yes, it was a game and it had its expansion, but it really felt like they pretty much did the bare minimum for that remake, and like I said before, they made a lot of the community features unavailable for it as well, whereas, you know, Petroglyph Games, they have done an absolutely fantastic job here. They've stayed true to the originals. They haven't gone down that avenue of creating 3D graphics like they definitely could have done, which would have maybe pleased newer, younger people who have never played these games before, made them a little bit more enticing perhaps, but I think it definitely would have ruined the overall charm of the game. So I really think they've made this like the definitive, the best version of Command & Conquer that you can play at this moment. And that's not to mention the fact that before this came out, there really was no solid way of playing Command & Conquer. You could maybe dig out one of your old consoles if you happen to have the disc laying around and play it that way, or you could jump through loops trying to download it online and applying cracks and whatnot to make that work smoothly. But, you know, there really is no overall multiplayer and single player experience of Command & Conquer that just works flawlessly. Not until now, at least. It's also just nice to see Command & Conquer back on the map again. I think most people generally regard Red Alert 3 as the last good Command & Conquer game. You know, we had Command & Conquer 4, but nobody really likes to talk about that. It was just a complete failure of a game. And then since then, we've had a few like mobile games and just sort of flops that hold nothing in common with Command & Conquer except the title. So it's really nice to see the series return to form again, even if it is remaking a game that has already released. And hopefully if this thing sells well, and it does seem like it's selling well on Steam at the moment, in fact I think it's the #1 top selling game at the time of creation for this video, hopefully we're going to see some of the other games remastered as well, like Tiberian Sun, Red Alert 2, etc. And, you know, C&C Generals. I think C&C Generals for a lot of people is their childhood experience of Command & Conquer and that nostalgic experience that they had growing up. Anyway guys, I just wanted to throw out my thoughts on this remaster here. I'm not going to go and cover this in depth because I'm sure you guys have played through these games before and you know exactly how they are, but whether you're like me and you're looking for a nostalgic throwback to the series or you've never played these games before, either way I can definitely recommend them. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed the vid, and I'll see you guys next time.